and welcome to The Traveling Introvert. Today I am going to talk about presentations. And the reason this came around is because I recently had to put together a presentation for DisruptHR in Denver. And they gave me about 10 days notice of how to do this specific presentation. And this isn't your average presentation. This presentation, you have 5 minutes. Not exactly a huge amount of time, but still, 5 minutes is okay. But within these 5 minutes, you are allowed 20 slides. And those of us who are, live on PowerPoint, slides. Yes, we love slides. We live and die by PowerPoint. But the other problem was that these slides would auto-rotate. You have no control over them. And this is the thing that panics most speakers the most. Mainly because we use slides and we can stop and we can laugh with people and interact with the audience and then move on to the next slide. Or if someone brings up a certain point, we can move forward or move backwards in slides. If someone asks a question, we can stop. Having that control is very much part of presenting. And it's something that's ingrained and embedded with us, especially when all we do is PowerPoint presentations. So having them auto-rotate puts a very different spin on it. You can't put a lot of information. You can't put a lot of details. The pictures have to go with what you're saying. Also, you have to create this story arc over 5 minutes that introduces yourself maybe, or your topic, gives 1 to 3 key points that you want the audience to take away, and then that punch at the end where you have a call to action. And all of this in 5 minutes, kind of like this podcast. And what I did, the first thing I did was, okay, so this was a topic I wanted to talk about, and believe it or not, it was about podcasting and how we can use it for companies to give people an insight into their company culture. Because when you apply for a job, you don't really know about company culture unless you speak to a person, and even then it's just that department's culture and not necessarily the department you're going to be working for. So I wanted to bring this to light. And so I did some research. The first thing I did was Google, how to put together a presentation for DisruptHR, just because it's so special and unique. It's like a TED Talk, but kind of on steroids and very HR focused. And there was only, I think, 2 articles overall about DisruptHR and how to put together sort of meaningful slides and how to create this presentation that would give the impact that you wanted. And not only this, I was also helping one of my friends who was also speaking at the same event. And we had very different topics, and he had a co-presenter with him as well. So it was very interesting to work on these essentially 3 speeches at the same time. But one thing I did learn, don't script it. Don't have it scripted so that you have to know everything word for word. Because if you do that and you miss a word or a sentence, your mind then goes blank. You freeze, you panic, and everything else goes to shit. So don't script it. The other thing is just have some main bullet points. Say 1 bullet point or 1 sort of story that you want to convey per slide. And with the slides, make them 1 picture. It can be of a donut. It can be of, I had one that was a cookie cutter. Make them big and bold. Don't have a lot of writing. It should convey a message or an emotion and a feeling that you want to create. Make it a little bit personal. Now, leave time and space. Think about how many words you can actually get in per minute and then halve it. Because you will find that you are rushed and there's so much that you want to get and impart in that amount of time that you just speed through and rush through. Practice. Practice, practice, and practice. And don't always practice from the start, because normally the first bit you're awesome at and you get halfway through and then you don't practice the second half. Practice all of it. Practice it from the middle. Practice it from 2 slides from the end. Keep practicing as often as you can. Record yourself doing the actual presentation and play it back to yourself. I know it's hard hearing your voice and hearing what you do, but that way it gets to be like a song and you'll end up singing along to what you're saying, and you'll end up getting that rhythm and that process. So no scripting. Make sure you record yourself. Practice. Just keep main points that you want to hit and make sure you get that call to action at the end. That's it. I made it sound far simpler than it was, and I panicked and I did the whole thing. And if you want to watch it, it is on DisruptHR Denver and it is under Janice Chacker. Listen up. It was an adventure. It was an experience. And I highly recommend you do it because it will level up your presentation skills no end. Thanks for listening. See you next time.